Hey everybody, I'm just going to go over some information that you might find useful. So, not sure if you're aware, but there is a brute force attacks are on the rise for WordPress sites. And that sounds like geek talk. However, a brute force attack is pretty rudimentary. It's pretty simple. So what I've done is I've actually gone through and taught myself a little bit of ethical hacking. And I'm using some free software that you can download off the internet. And so I actually came to one of my old websites that has been hacked. And I'm going to show you how they hacked it. And then I'm going to show you two very, very, very simple plugins you can add so it won't happen again. So this is just an old website. It's a test server, if you will, where I just kind of throw up a WordPress installation, and we'll throw in different themes and pictures and just kind of see how they look. So basically, this was hacked. I went to the site and had to go into FTP to bring it back up. But let me show you kind of what the simple query here of the website will show you and how the hackers are getting in. So number one, I wasn't updating the site. I wasn't paying attention. In fact, I didn't even remember I had it. So yeah, it's a simple, easy target. So basically what all they do, I'm gonna go to my terminal. I'm on a Mac, obviously. And there's some free software that you can get called WP Scan. So and then basically all you need to do is basically what this software is going to do is it's going to scan. I'm not going to run this right now. This is just going to scan my website. So I'm just asking it to go and scan. And then I will show you the results. There again, you can get this software. It's free. It's a little tricky to install, but very, very simple. So basically what it's showing here is it's showing vulnerabilities. So it's reading the code and it's taking a look at what is being run. So yes, the current theme is elegant. It's an elegant themes, WordPress theme. Anything here that has this red on it, that means that there's a vulnerability. And so you can see here I have all of these plugins that are way out of date. So how long did that take? I don't know, less than a minute. So basically what any hacker can do who has access to an internet connection, they can go through and scan any WordPress site and they're looking for these vulnerabilities, which I have tons of, okay? And so once they find these vulnerabilities, they can look this up online, and there are like hacker forums and things like that, so that they can basically go in and begin doing what's known as a brute force attack. So the next thing, so what do you need to get into a website, or what do you need to get into a server? And these are like common things that they're going to know. So you need to know the username. So this is a scan here to see if I have any usernames on the website. And the number one mistake people make is to use the word admin as their username, which is a no-no. So now it's ameliorating the argument, and it's saying, oh, not only did he use admin, that's terrible, right? So I mean, I don't care if this site is hacked. It doesn't matter to me, because it's not, well, it's live, but it's not. I'm not using it for anything other than testing. So other than being an annoyance, it doesn't really matter. But not only do I have that, I have all these other logins, right? So enormous amount of vulnerability because the more people I have 8 users on here. One is test and one is admin. Yeah, I mean, this is a gold mine for them. So they know the login username, okay? But how do they get in? Well, almost all, by default, WordPress websites have the login is WP-admin. They type that in at the end of the URL, and then they get this panel here, the login panel. They know that the username is admin, and all they got to do now is guess the password. So they can go in and use this brute force attack. What a brute force attack is within seconds, it penetrates and tests the login password hundreds and hundreds of times, thousands of times, with commonly known words. And if one of those gets in, bing, they record that and then they're able to get in. So actually, I haven't logged into this site for a while. Okay, but no surprise here, right? This is an old site. All of these things are out of date, right? I got all these updates. So there again, you saw it in the scan, right? I have my theme, which is out of date. I have these plugins, which are out of date. And then the WordPress itself is out of date. So I'm currently on a much older version of WordPress. So extremely vulnerable. So what do you do when you're in this situation? Okay, first thing you want to do is export. Okay, you want to export all your content. Number one thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and do that export. Now, what it's doing is it's backing up all the photos, it's backing up all of the content, if I have blog posts, pages, etc. Now, this is not, I'm not going to restore this or show you, but you know, it's not necessarily going to be picture perfect when you go back in to reinstall it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate all of my plugins. And this, I'm going to do this because I'm going to go through and then individually update all the critical plugins. And you want to deactivate them and then update them. So I don't even know what this is, to be honest. So see ya. I'm not going to update that one. There is some malicious software on here. I know there is. So I'm going to be really careful. You know, I don't want this one on there. And there actually is, if you go and look, there are blacklists of different plugins. And so, you know, one of the things, and I'll show you here in just a moment when we begin to install the plugins again, what you need to do. So, okay, so I have nothing active. Everything is updated except for my theme. For this example, let's just change the theme. Let's just get rid of the other theme, if I'm able to do that. And it looks like it's not giving me that option. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to install. Now this is old school, man. Let's just do a white one column holiday. This one looks fine. So I'm just going to install this theme. and I'm going to activate it. Oops. I got more problems. All right, so I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do, I'm going to go to this updates. This you see here, you got this, which is way out of compliance, right? You had version 1.4 and then version 2.8. Yeah, that's way out. So I'm having some problems here. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll the dice here. I've already exported my content. I'm going to work to just update to the most recent version of WordPress. Now, this will either give me an error like it did before when I tried to update the theme, or what it's going to do, it's going to update fine. But we're rolling the dice here, and this is live. I'm not, I didn't rehearse this at all. We'll kind of see what happens. Well, that's weird. So it took me to my, so I was on a subdomain here, and now I'm on the actual domain. Oh, good. Okay, it did update. It did some weird stuff, but this is the new theme. There again, I'm not worried about content right now. This is live, so we're just gonna see what it did. Okay, it did update. That is awesome. Okay, so great news. It updated. I do have these plugins now that I can go through, and now when you are bringing this back into compliance, don't do a bunch all at once. Freaks out the server. Do them one at a time, and don't activate them all at once either, because you'll get an error again. And I'm not using this, so I'm deleting it. And I'm not using this, so I'm deleting it. Okay? But in an ideal world, you bring those up one at a time. And then I have a bunch of other stuff here. This is a long time ago. This has got to be 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, so and actually I'm going to go back to the theme, and I'm going to add a new theme. And this one I'm just going to delete, because the reason why I did that is they will corrupt the theme file, and that's not good. So this is the newest WordPress out of the box theme, which is actually a really good theme. So we'll just use that. And then we're going to get rid of this Times Square one. Okay. So now we go back into the site. Great. And I have a little bit of content in this, but it, this is not showing you any type of content. This is all back-end stuff. So I got all my installed plugins. None of them are active right now. And then my theme is updated, and I'm on the most current version of WordPress. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how, like, 2 really simple ways to confirm that we got all the malicious software off of the server, and that this site could go back into production as a live site. So the first plugin you're going to want to add, it's called WordFence. So how do you know if a plugin is good or not? Well, a lot of times you don't, but this is basically coming from WordPress.org, which is the governing body for all WordPress plugins. And you see this has 1 million active installations, and that we could just compare that to something like this with 300. And I'm not saying anything bad about this plugin. I don't know what it is, but my point is if you have 1 million and you have 2,876 positive 5-star reviews of this plugin, it's saying that the community feels it's pretty safe. This one has 6 positive reviews and 300 plus active. That one I'm a little bit suspicious about. I'm going to hold off before I'm going to test this one a lot. If this is what I absolutely positively need it to do, then I'm gonna test this one a lot in a test environment, make sure it's stable, make sure I don't get any anomalies. But this one I know is stable, so I can install this. And this plugin is blocking and tackling. Like, you need to have this plugin or you're gonna get in some trouble. So my site was already hacked. I know that it was hacked, it was out of compliance, all this weird stuff was going on. So you can go through the tour. I've already been through the tour. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scan my site. And so I just hit this start scan button. And what you'll see immediately is it's going to go into my server and scan all of my WordPress files. Now, there is a paid version of this, which is certainly worth the investment if you're concerned about security. But what it's probably going to find is that there already are malicious files that were in the server, on my server, in the WP content, or in the includes folder. And when you see that, you're going to have some options here to correct that. So when the scan is complete, it will either pull in the corrected version of the PHP code, or it'll ask to delete it. I'll be surprised if it comes back in this. So actually it did come back. There's nothing in there. So there was no security problems. So it looks like either somebody hacked into one of the plugins, or they hacked in, but they didn't get into the code, which is really good. Now, I already eliminated the code that was on the theme, so it might have been in there, and I eliminated a bunch of my plugins. So if you're suspicious, what you do is you delete the plugin, reinstall it, or delete the theme and then reinstall it. So I could go back into my themes and add a new theme. I'm not going to do that here. It's really not important. The other thing you want to do once this plugin is done, see, it's actually really cool. So you have this live traffic. So this is monitoring actual traffic, and it also gives you the IP address of the traffic. And then you can measure, so this is a hit, happened 2 minutes ago. Somebody went to the site, and you can see if it's a human, a web crawler, if it's Google crawler, page not found, log in, log out, or if it's blocked by the firewall. The other reason why this is such a useful plugin, you can actually configure a firewall here. So what this does is you're going to begin to activate it. You're going to download this file, which is part of your WordPress, and you just save that. And then hit continue. And now the firewall is going to go into a learning phase, and it's going to begin to monitor who logs in, whether or not the user authenticated or there was attempts. So you just leave this alone for a while, and it will go ahead and begin to monitor the activity there. And so you can go in and you can look at the live traffic to the site. So for instance, if I go over here, I'm going to actually open up another browser. Okay, so that just happened. So that's real traffic. And if I go here, it'll show that I went there. So yeah, I live in El Cajon. This is the website I went to. And it says Safari browser running on Mac OS, and that's accurate. The reason why there's a warning is there was this join now icon, but I'm not really concerned about that. So there's actually multiple pings here. So there actually might be some other malicious things going on with the software, because that's a little bit interesting. So not going to worry about it now, but it looks like there might be some other things that were kind of activated when I went to the site. The main thing I wanted to show you though is this. So any hacker and their mom could come to the site and then just type in wp-admin. And there again, I have those usernames that are not good, right? And then they can do that brute force attack using free software off the internet to log in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to eliminate the wp-admin login right. So there's a really cool plugin. I'll go back to my plugins here, called WP Hide Login. So we'll go and search for WP Hide Login. And there again, 80,000 active installations, very, very high review. I'll install that now. And then this particular one, what it does is it enables you to change. So let me maybe show you on a Word file. So if I just go to the domain URL and I type in wp-admin, that will get me in. So I'm going to change that, and with this plugin, I can change it to anything. So if I wanted it to say login, I could do that. If I wanted to say go to website, I could do that. Or I could even use this. That's fine too. Doesn't matter. Okay? You can change it to anything. You just have to note, hey, what did I change it to? Because you're not getting in from the WP admin. It eliminates that as a function of the website. So what it's going to default to is this login. So if we go then to settings, actually it's going to be in the plugin area. So if I go to the settings here, and this is the settings page on your WordPress, so it defaults to that login. So if I hit save here, okay, now if I go back to Safari, right? So this is WP-admin. I'm going to go back to the site. Okay, so I'm back to the site. So now the hacker is going to say WP-admin, and it's been deactivated. Okay, now, because hackers know what's going on, there's the second place they're going to look is login, right? And that's where it is, because that's the default. So if I don't change the default, I'm still vulnerable. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to change it to something that's unique. Okay, that's totally unique. I'm going to copy that because this is going to, once I hit save, that's the only way into the site. Okay, so now I go back and I go to WP, or so let's walk through it. So I'm a hacker. I'm going to try WP-admin. Error. Well, let's see if he just never changed that default login. Typed it wrong. I can do this again. Okay. Oops. Page can't be found. Okay. Are they ever going to search this? So now, this is the only way in. I copy that, paste it, boom, back to the login screen. Okay. So it's unlikely that they're going to know to type that. They're moving on to an easier target, trust me. But just to be safe here, I mean, I have all these users in here. Why do I have all these users in? I have no idea. I was testing, I believe it was a another site. These are all just random emails that I have. So I'm going to eliminate all my subscribers except for my admin and delete. Okay, so I just have one admin. This is the email. Okay, that's the other thing. You don't want to know the email. So as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna change that. But yeah, you don't want it to be admin, and you don't want people to know the email address. Okay, so if you're watching this video and you're trying to hack me, yeah, you'd probably get in. But there again, I don't care because this is not a production website. And there's no information really on here at all. So those are my two pieces of advice. I would install those two plugins. And that would be WordFence Security and your WPS hide login. And by having those two pieces on there, you will be able to essentially hide your login and prevent individuals from hacking your site. Hope this was helpful.